Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory. Yes, we're back on Satisfactory once again, going to be continuing our single player playthrough. But first, it is a Monday, so hopefully you'll had yourselves a great weekend this weekend, as well as I'd like to thank and welcome all of the new subscribers that we had gained over the last week and over the weekend. You guys are awesome. And also thank you to the people that have stuck with me thus far. You guys are also awesome. We are continuing to grow the channel, getting that much closer, just a little closer to that 1,000, getting close to our mark, so it's been really awesome. Hopefully we continue to grow like that, and yeah, so just getting right on into it here. If you may remember last week, we had finished the frame factories. We got all of the frame factories completed. Just finishing our last one. We were just moving on to other factories that would serve those. But we got all the the pressure conversion cube done. Got that factory finished at the end of last week, and then we also at the end of last week, it was Thursday and Friday, we had started working on the encased industrial beam factory, and got that one done as well, which was pretty cool. Especially the especially the machine that we had handmade for like the unpacker. That was pretty cool too. So anyway, let's go ahead and hop on into game here. So yeah, pretty freaking cool. I definitely am enjoying this kind of. You're probably noticing something new here. We're messing with the dolly system again. I put in a thing in the QA, hopefully to make some changes to the dolly system. The main change being I want the dolly to not be tethered to the Pioneer, or at the very least, extend that tether by about 3 or 4 times. Because man, doing shots with that thing is so annoying. Plus, when you hit the end of the tether, it's in a sphere. So you hit the end of the tether, if you hit the wall, the upper walls or the lower walls that isn't exactly in the middle, what happens is it pulls the camera down or pulls the camera up, because it's in a sphere. So basically, it ends up ruining shots and stuff like that. And I've had a very hard time. But yeah, doing the kind of like footage while we're doing the intro and stuff, I definitely have enjoyed doing. So pretty freaking cool. As well. It is very time consuming, I will say that. It is very time consuming and a lot of work, but I did find it at least a little bit enjoyable. So hopefully we'll be doing some more of that in the future as well, but I kind of want to wait for the dolly system to be improved first before we do too much. That way we don't oh, where's my hotbar? There it is. Oops. I don't want to do that anyway. Yeah, that way we just move on to the new stuff and don't get too reliant on it just yet, and hopefully get some changes. Yeah, if they untether it, I'll be perfectly happy to do that. It just when you're trying to get a good shot, right, and you hit the edge of your tether and it ruins your entire shot when you're trying to set the end point, it's like, ugh. It's like, well, you need to be more careful. It's like, well, then you need to show me exactly where my tether point is and how far I can go. And then when I hide the UI, then you can hide the sphere that I'm in. If that makes sense. No, it'd probably ruin it, but yeah, definitely at least make the tether much longer. What are you? You are. Let's see, you're going to the heavy modular frames. We don't want to go that way. I might just set a train going here. That way we can get transport. Yeah, because right now, our only way to get to the encased industrial beam so we can finish the factory is to take a train. And I did change the name, and I do appreciate the longer train names, because I was able to put encased beams for this so that I know exactly what it was. So encased beams, factory export, save changes, turn on self-driving. Cool. So now we can make our way over to the encased industrial beams. Very, very nice. Alright, and here we are over at our encased industrial beam factory that we made last week. Got, most of it done. We still got some things to tidy up here, and stuff like that. But I love this as well. This is one of my favorite parts, is the concrete comes out of the ground. You got this little offload station for like trucks, for like dump trucks and stuff. And it goes up this little wall here, and then it bends around the water tower, which I think is really, really cool. Oh, interesting. Huh. That's a bug. Wow. If I wouldn't have flown under that water tower, I would have never have found that bug in there. But yeah, so we got all of that coming into our favorite machine here. I'm actually pretty proud of this, this little build here. So we've got an assembler inside of a basic walls and beams and things with some extra lights, extra little flare, and then a big old light above it to kind of shine light there. And then so the concrete basically comes in here with the water, and then basically what this machine is looked like to do is it unbags the concrete, mixes the concrete with the water, turns it into, concrete. Basically, it's more of a solid liquid concrete, which goes up this pipeline. Into that, and then goes into these machines. As you can see, we've got pipelines. Ooh, I didn't finish this side. I just realized that. I only did the one side. Are you serious? Wow. I am forgetful. That's the best way. That's the best way I can explain it. Also, yeah, I never did do the other side of these either. I did some of them, but not all of them. Yeah, that's, I've been getting a little more forgetful these days. But yeah, back to what I was talking about a little bit ago, with the whole extra footage thing and stuff like that. It's like, I like doing it. It's a lot of fun, but at the same time, I'm more of a classic gameplay YouTuber. I like to do the classic gameplay, where it's just mainly gameplay. I'm not a fan of the whole super flashy stuff, although it can be entertaining to watch. I'm not gonna say that it's not, and that it's a horrible thing, and that's a horrible thing to do or whatever. No, that's too far that's way too far from what I think is, I like the classic gameplay, and I know a lot of people do too, so it's what I appreciate. I like seeing it on YouTube, so that's what I do. And the more long form content I definitely like doing as well, because you get more of the game out of it, I guess you could say. But that's discussion for another time, I think. But anyway, yeah, so we've got our quote-unquote concrete coming in. And you're probably wondering how I did this if you haven't not seen it. Basically, just put a wall right here, nudge it backwards into the machine a little bit, and then put the wall hole there so then you can connect the pipe. The pipe doesn't go anywhere. The pipe is just full of water, but that'll be just our little secret. Don't tell anyone, okay? Don't need to be giving away secrets. There we go. At least that's fixed now. Can't believe I completely and utterly just forgot to do that. Alright, so now that we've messed with that for a long time, so basically what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to be a little bit lazy here. Oops, let me grab this. I do like the new middle click copying the color thing. It saves me so much time. Oh yeah, and I did put in the QA thing to have them... I think I already said this. I'm not really sure. I get lost. I'm lost. I forgot if I said it or not, but I did put in to the QA site for them to basically either make the tether for the dolly system longer for the new photo mode, or just unhook it entirely. And yeah, I know the restrictions. I know why the restrictions are there. That's why I said just make the tether longer, but because it is way, way too short. Basically, I think the reason they did that limitation in the first place is because the world is rendered around the Pioneer, but only so far. Yes, we can see all that up there, but all of that is in low poly mode. This is to save on resources and stuff, because if you rendered the entire world in its entirety, it would your system would not be able to run it. Only the top computers would be able to run the game, so only people with a lot of money would be able to enjoy Satisfactory. So that is one of those things. Like I know why the restrictions there. That's why I said just make the tether like 2 to 3 times longer. Just make it way longer than it currently is. At the very least. But yeah, if you could untether it entirely, that would also be awesome. Just scrap the thing. Oops. Did I put that there? I think I did. Anyway, so yeah, we put the lifts in here, and then of course we're going to connect to them with belts as well. Last set. Let's get that connected. And then I'm just like that. Okay, this is where the lazy portion comes in. This is where I just put the merger on top of the lift. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way with everything, except for this end. So we're going to be producing 200 steel beams per minute, or encased industrial beams per minute, and yeah, we're just going to do that. Oh, you know what I probably should do is I probably should paint these. Wait, do I have the limestone? I don't know if I ever did the limestone. No. Alright, we'll do it here. Alright, so let's do limestone and the faded red. I've been trying to use these more because just because it's just easier to pull out a color rather than trying to select everything. It makes it way faster as well. So, but yeah, basically all the belts are going to go this way, and they're all going to merge up on this wall here, and then with this side, the mergers are going to go this way, and then they're going to go into the train station, and then they're going to be uploaded on this side, and just go through the train station, upload it from rear to front, and then once we get that hooked up, then we'll send out a train to start making heavy modular frames, because this is the last puzzle piece we need for heavy modular frames, and then we can move on to other factories, essentially. Getting started on the rotors, motors, or the stators, rotors, and motors would be a good choice. Doing those factories. So yeah, let me get this all hooked up, and then we'll see if we can get a roof on this bad boy. Because I'm not going to do too much with the walls. I just decided I just don't care enough. We'll just leave the walls as they are for now. And we might come back and pretty it up at some point, but yeah, we definitely need to move on, so let's do that. Alrighty, so now that I've got all of that stuff connected, oh yeah, so one of the things I wanted to say a little bit earlier, but I kind of forgot, is I did want to apologize for the mic quality. It has been over the last couple of videos. My mic has been acting up again, and you know, you guys know that, you know, my mic my headset used to short out because it had a little bit of a short in it. It used to short out constantly, but now it's starting to happen again, so I'm going to have to fix it. Yeah, so if my mic quality ever goes to crap, that's why. It's not my fault, I swear. Straight mode? Or should we do it like this? Yeah, do it like that. Okay, so there goes the beams. And imagine it's going to take a minute for a lot of this to get moving. I just want to see everything move. Okay, that line moved, that line moved. Just need this other line to move. Please move. Okay, that line moved, that line moved. Okay, cool. That's all I wanted to see, was all the lines moved to make sure it's all connected correctly. I was just like, I'll just go through the wall and then do this here. There we go. It's okay if it's up there. It's fine. It gives it a little bit of an extra structure look, though, and yeah, go straight into the train station. Okay, so now let's go ahead and grab ourselves some logistics. I want to copy these, actually, so I don't have to paint them again. Where is it at? Give me that right there. I said, give me that. Thank you. It's what I need, what I need. What I really, really need. Yep, and then that there. There goes our encased beams. And then we need our organization. And we need to use the dimensional depot to then upload. Is that in the middle? It is, okay. Oops. Yep, and now we're doing encased industrial beams. Woo! Alright, let's get a train set up. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then let's go ahead and paint the train. Okay. And then hold the F key over it. Just so it doesn't lag. It might still do that, but we'll see with that. Okay, then edit timetable, and we're going to do HM, or H dash, yeah. Encased beams import, and then the encased beams factory export. Save changes, turn on self-driving. Okay, and these should all be set to load. Yeah. So by the time it gets back, there'll be encased industrial beams. Hopefully the train station will be full. I mean, we're only making 200 per minute. So there's that. Yeah, you can see you can see how empty the belts are currently with that. That is funny. Now that all the stuff has started draining from the train station. Yeah, and we'll ride the train back to the heavy encased, the heavy beam, the heavy modular frames. There we go. Jeez. Yeah, we'll ride the train back to there, and then we'll call that good. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and put a roof on this. So I'm thinking 2-meter roof will probably do. And what I'm also going to do, oops, is we're going to do something a little bit different as well. Wait for this autosave. There we go. I'm going to use concrete walls up here. So kind of like that. And then we're going to put a second one. And a second one. And then we're going to go... So that's a 4 meter. And then we're going to go back to 2. Like this. And this is the other reason I'm using concrete instead of... what do you call it? Using concrete instead of these the steel walls, because the steel walls at 1 meter are junk for the textures. They don't match up to anything, which, you know, drives me absolutely bonkers. Because the textures don't line up between the 1 meter and the 4 meter, or between the 1 meter and the 1 meter incline, these little ramp walls and stuff like that. A lot of that's just does not match, and they've never fixed it, which I know it's not a big priority or anything, but damn, you irritate me. Should we then go this way? Yeah. Let's go a little bit faster. Like I said, nothing too fancy, just... I was just thinking, what if we did this instead? That'll probably look a little bit better. Just a wee bit. Okay, and then architecture. Oh, I'm gonna have to just grab this. Yep, then we're gonna zoop that across. It's okay if those stick through. I'm not too Oh, but the factory needs to be a little bit taller. Actually, does it? Hold on. Oh. What about inverted? It'd be an inverted 2 meter, wouldn't it? Yeah. Actually, let's just do this whole thing. So just this particular portion of the factory. Then we do 2 meter there. Actually, it'd probably make even more sense to go to the edge of the wall here. Oops, I need the inverted 2 meter. There we go. Actually, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Put that there. That there. Then give me that. That there. That there. There we go. So now when he's looking down, this is part of the roof of the building. It does make it kind of oblong, doesn't it? Ew. I don't know about that. Might just shear it off. Just shear it off like that, but no, the only way this is gonna work is if I make it one more wall tall. And then I guess we could, then that'll give us enough room to put lights in the ceiling. So yeah, let me get that done real quick, and then we'll move on to see if we put some lights in the rafters in. Alrighty, so now that we've got, I got all the roofing done, the rafters, and the lighting, so this is what it looks like. It's actually not bad. I do need to change this lighting color. It is irritating. But basically, yeah, so for my entire system, I hate that when you change when you actually customize the colors on a factory or on any kind of building, and it's separate from the rest of the power network. Just changing that, though, is global, unfortunately. So unless you're using the standard light colors, if you edit the light colors, it is global to the entire game, so that's kind of annoying, but that's okay. But yeah, I did get the lighting done. I got the rafters in place, as I was talking about. I use these frame floors. It's not the foundation. It's just the single little piece that's about a meter thick or so. And I just ran it across and then put my lights on it. Putting the lights above each of the machines looks pretty darn good. And then, of course, we got a little bit of lighting so we can have a little bit of sunlight coming into the factory. These always look cool, too. Man, look at that. That's beautiful. It's very bright out here. But yeah, I think it's alright. I don't like that this is concrete, and then this is thing, but like I said earlier, if I change this, the textures do not line up, and they... why? Why did I not line up? Makes no sense why they did that. Just like... Nah. It annoys the absolute crap out of me. So we'll just leave it like that then. Oh, you know what we could do? To kind of help blend this a little better. Well... That's... If we go with the -1. Oh, you can't paint? That's right, you can't do the walls. The walls don't work like that. Okay. So then in that case, materials. Yeah, we can always do this. See what that looks like. And then paint in the carbon steel, and that should hopefully match. Yeah, that blends a little nicer, doesn't it? A little bit. That does blend a little bit nice. We can leave the walls up here. But now we gotta do... Now that we've done that, we gotta do this side, of course. Of course. Looks like it's gonna take us the rest of the episode to finish this to what I want it to be. But I don't mind. That means next time we'll be ready for stators, rotors, and motors, which I'm going to try and put in the Spire Coast. Yeah, I definitely want to put those 3 factories in the Spire Coast. But not in the Spire Coast area where the rubber and plastic factory is. There's another spot that I actually have it kind of set up to put factories in. Well, at least part of it anyway. I think it could look pretty good. Oh, you know what we could do as well? Just give this that little bit extra. Basically have yeah. And then can we paint these? Yeah, carbon steel. Oh yeah. So what happens if you do this? Oh, you just get the little ring. Okay. Honestly, that kind of looks better. I do it that way. Yeah, because then at least you can kind of see the fan blade. And we'll put one there as well. So yeah, basically what that does is it pulls out the heat of the factory. Pulls it to the outside. I think that looks pretty cool, actually. On the inside, it's not as cool, but it still looks alright, actually. Yeah. Then, you do all kinds of cool things with this. I'm not feeling it. I do like the fans on the side though. That's pretty cool. So yeah, just it pulls out the heat of the factories because we're out in the desert. A little bit of air conditioning, you know. But yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Oh, we still need to go out to the heavy modular frames and make sure they're being made, which I'm pretty sure they are, but I definitely want to make sure of that first. So we'll have to wait for the other train to get here, the encased industrial beams. Have we taken any? We have. We have taken a load out there. Oh, it's going to be a while, though, before that finally fills up, because we're only making 200 of these per minute. I mean, we're not using that many, but we're using less than 100 right now, but having the 200 per minute, it's still pretty slow. So yeah, it is going to take a while, but yeah. Let me wait for the train here, and then we will see you at the heavy modular frame factory and see how that one was working, or how that one is working there. Alrighty then, and here we are over at our heavy modular frame factory. Only offloading like 1 car's worth of beams here. Looks like we're out again. Oh no, no. Are we not making any, or is it just slow? Oh, I guess we are unloading, so I need to look at all these anyway. See if we're even making encased industrial beams, though. Or making, yeah, we are. Did that just move, or? That might have been visual. Okay, off that train goes. No, this train station's full. Might not have something hooked up. Or it's working. Okay, no, it is working. Alright. Yep, encased industrial beams. Yeah. Cool. Using a lot of pipe. Yeah, we're making heavy modular frames. Holy freaking crap, man. This is good. We are finally making those. I think most of them are going to be going this way. Yeah, you can see here. They're going to this factory, which is the fuse modular frame factory. Now, of course, this factory is not going to run at all. And the reason this one's not going to run at all, because this one needs nitrogen gas. And we don't have a factory, or we don't have a train picking up nitrogen gas yet for this particular factory. So this particular factory, yeah, like I said, needs nitrogen gas. Looks like we're full on our heavy modular frames. Yep. We're completely full on all that. That's why the belt's backed up. We just need that nitrogen coming in to finish this factory. Whoa. There went my arms. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to be making our way out that way yet. Because we need to do stators, rotors, and motors, because we really don't need fused modular frames at the moment. Because even if we had fused modular frames being made, they wouldn't be being used at all, because this is the factory that uses them. This is the pressure conversion cube factory that we made. Had to make all this by hand with the beams and stuff. I mean, we did do blueprints, so it made it a lot easier, but we still had to hand make the corner, the bottom corner and the top corner, and then yeah, we've got the tower on the top here. That's then showing us that there is ore over here. There's oil over here that we might collect at some point. I think it's roughly, it looks like it's right there, actually. Yeah, pretty cool. Alrighty, well, anyway, now that we know heavy modular frame is, now that we know heavy modular frames are being made, we can go ahead and move over to where we're going to do stators, rotors, and motors, which, like I said, that factory is going to be producing that, or it's going to be over in the the Spire Coast. There we go. Jeez, look at all of my trains. I got so many trains, and I love it. That's the whole point of this. That's the whole point of this. Of what I'm trying to do here is the train world scenario. Yep. Trains are the only thing allowed between factories. No belts, no trucks, no tractors, no hands. Look, Ma, no hands. And no drones either. Drones are absolutely not allowed. Trains only. It's the trains only challenge. It's not much of a challenge, to be honest. Yeah. Oh, yeah. As soon as we cross that barrier, right about here is where we lose all of our. Oh, a little further, a little further, a little further, a little further. There's all of our color. As we're climbing up the hill, we get all of our color back, and we go off into the desert. All right, let's head over to the Spire Coast real quick and see what we can get started on setting up. Because the train lines up there are going to be a little bit interesting, because there's a lot of plateaus that we can build our factories on, but those plateaus are at varying heights, so that's going to be a bit of a challenge when it comes to building the train lines somewhat smoothly and somewhat nice. So yeah, let's head over there and see what we can get done, or see what we can get started on anyway. Yeah, so this is the spot I'm talking about. So we've got the quad spiral here, but this set of rails never gets used because there's no trains to use it. Well, and I do like this. We got Desert Canyon eastbound and Desert Canyon westbound. So if you're coming in on this line, you're going to see those two signs, and you're either going to go eastbound, which is going to take you around the spiral, and then it's going to take you this way, or you can go the opposite way as well. So pretty cool. And I specifically did not connect these. Like, what I could have done is I could have done this, but I did not do this specifically because I want the trains to use all the different spirals. So if you're coming from this way and you take a right, you can go up this spiral here, but you cannot go up this spiral here unless you're coming from the opposite way. So that's the kind of the whole point of that particular area. Yeah, then you go across here and you follow these bridges up through this area. So on top of these plateaus, that's where we're going to be building our factories for the stators, rotors, and motors. So yeah, we need stators, we need rotors, and we need motors being made. So then we can send them. We can send them to also different factories as well, And it would probably be a good idea before we go too far elsewhere. It'd probably be a good idea to build a factory doing versatile framework and doing smart plates as well, because we're probably going to need that stuff later on. So, oh yeah, this is still over here. So this particular area was going to be a factory, but I don't think I have enough room. Because even with stators, I'm going to need 3 train stations to make this work. Now, what I could do is I could put the factory up here and then have this spot for train stations. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting trying to, and very much a challenge to try and figure out how we're going to do this, because I could put 3 train stations. If I could fit 3 train stations kind of in an angle this way, I can't fit them side by side. Like side by side by side, because of how much room I'm going to be taking up. I'm definitely not moving this thing. This thing took hours and hours and hours to build. It took forever. Especially because of these pieces I have to put in all by hand. Yeah, that was not good. Well, it was great. Obviously, it was really good, but man, did it take forever. Okay. So yeah, basically this was my idea, though, was to put the stators, rotors, and motors out here in this part of the Spire Crest. We're just on the backside of the desert cliffs. We can put factories up in these areas. Like we could, basically what we could do is we could put an intersection there, run the tracks over here, put the train stations here, land on this rock, and then put the factory up here. So yeah, basically we're going to be doing that. And then maybe even further, we can have that train line then go this way onto this plateau, more train stations here, and then have the other factory like over there. So we could do like stators and rotors, and then, or stators and I guess if they share, we might have one train station delivered to multiple factories. Because to build stators requires wire and steel pipe. I believe we're not going with the alternate. The alternate, yes, does produce more, but I'm not planning for the alternate. Plus, this takes 1 more steel pipe. I get this one takes more, but I'm already producing the wire, and I don't have wire going anywhere. I also don't have quick wire going anywhere, but the quick wire is going to be used for AI limiters, I believe, mostly. So we'll probably just go with the standard. Recipe of steel pipe and wire going to stators. Now, what I'm hoping is that the steel factory sends the steel pipe up through the desert cliffs track, rather than going down into the canyon and then coming up this way, the way we just took to get up here. I'd rather it take my other track. That would be really cool. But also, that track might be too long, just because of the route it takes. Because trains choose the path based on the shortest distance, on the fastest distance. Now, I wish they would change that to where we could choose either fastest distance or choose the... It'd be really cool if we could choose the corners manually. Like, say, if we come to an intersection, we go left instead of right, that kind of thing. And be able to choose that, and then choose the path, basically almost like recording a path for like a tractor or a truck. Something similar in that way, so that you could either have it automatically choose the path, or you could choose the path for it. If you think that you have a better way of going about it, that would be really cool. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, that is kind of the plan. So stators, and then rotors. The rotors, I'm not sure about yet. We could do iron rods, because we do have an iron rod factory. I don't think we got iron rods being pulled from anywhere. Because modular frame... Yeah, the modular frame we're using is this one here. using the bolted frame, which takes screws. So yeah, we're not using rods right now. We could use the rods for the rotors, or we could do this rod, this rotor, which is copper sheets and screws. Or we could cut out the screws entirely and go steel pipe and wire. If we do steel pipe and wire, then we're using the exact same stuff that takes to make stators. That's not a bad idea. If I change my recipe to steel rotor and use a bunch of that wire, because I made a bunch extra. I can't remember how much wire we actually needed for the project, but I ended up doing 2,000 wire and 2,000 cable. If we use, I basically overclocked. I use summer sloops. I summer slooped all the steel pipe machines a little while ago. If we do this recipe, then we could have one train station serving both factories. And that would be really good. And then, of course, with motors, we'll just take the standard recipe of taking our rotors and our stators and turning it into motors. And of course, yeah, we'll do the whole thing of the factories serve each other just by belts because they're so close. But we'll have inputs. This is going to be a special case where I kind of break my rule, where trains between factories and no belts, but these factories are going to be so close together that we'll be able to basically belt between them, but they'll still have exports. So what that means with the motor factory, we don't have to have trains importing the material, although we can do that if we want to. I mean, it's not like it's not because I am going to have exports on the rotors and the stators anyway. But that could be a nice little grouping of factories over here as well. So yeah, I mean the no belts between trains only between factories is it's a rule that I try to keep to for the most part. But if it is extremely nice to have that, then I won't do it. But you know, if we want to, we can try. We can try to train between factories. Like what we could do is we could separate it out, have another spiral, I don't know, like here or something, going up to that platform, or having an offshoot from that train line down to here, and then have the motor factory up there or something, and then have the stator factory down here, and the rotor factory, I don't know, somewhere else. I'm not really sure. We could have the rotor factory over there. I wouldn't mind that. Kind of spread it out a little bit more. Use some of these plateaus a little more effectively, rather than trying to use them all grouped all together. The frame one definitely was an exception, though, because of how close those factories were, and I wanted all those 4 factories all in that one biome. So, all right, sounds like we've got a plan for next time. Very, very good. So next time we're going to get started on those factories for this week, and hopefully we'll get those done very soon. We need to design each factory, put the train stations in, put the machines in, belt everything, get the supplies coming to each factory, and stuff like that. Yeah, and I do like the idea of spreading it out quite a bit. Like putting a factory up there, maybe, having train stations there and maybe a factory there, something like that. And maybe putting I definitely want to put train stations here, and then have a factory there as well. Have the factory there, and then maybe over here we have like train stations down here. And then have the factory up where I'm standing, or something like that. Just kind of spread it out a little bit. I'm not really sure though. Or have a factory over there. That would be pretty cool. But anyway, with that though, that is going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory. 80 know what we're doing next time. So yeah, that's gonna be it. I do hope you enjoyed. Oh, and before you go, I would like to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of the investors you can see here. Seriously, thank you. You guys are awesome. It is much appreciated. And until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.